ischemic hypothermia, that is absolutely a neuroprotective agent. We know that from many, many experiments. However, when it comes to post-ischemic induction of hypothermia, the evidence are not that clear. Not at all, in fact. There is a big question mark here. And one result of the TTM trial that we conducted was that we went back to the animal lab really to try and investigate what the level of evidence is for post-ischemic hypothermia. And this work is actually ongoing. We did publish the protocol for this meta-analysis of temporary reduction in animal models of cardiac arrest. And this work is a collaboration with a group in Edinburgh, Malcolm MacLeod and collaborators over there. So this work is ongoing, but we have a preliminary data or conclusion, if you wish, and those are that the evidence for neuroprotective effects of temperature reduction in adult animals larger than rodents is sparse. And that was somewhat surprising to many of us, and we will come back and publish this soon. So post-ischemic hypothermia, there is really a big question mark in animals larger than rodents. So what about humans? What is the current evidence for induced hypothermia? Well, I'll quickly go through what we know from neonates, children and adults. When it comes to neonates asphyxia, well, we had several good studies. We had a Cochrane review, and I think all agree on the fact that the evidence is at a good level, and that post-ischemic hypothermia is beneficial. However, the concept of TTM36 has not been tested now. I don't know if it ever will, but it has not been tested. What about children and out-of-hospital cardiac arrest? This important paper, interesting paper, was published in 2015. Now, out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in children are different to adults. Median age 2 years in this study, mostly respiratory cause of arrest, a lot of comorbidity, a lot of unwitnessed arrests, a lot of asystole, low survival rate. Primary outcome was neurological functional neurological outcome, and few patients could actually be assessed at 12 months. Now, there was no statistically significant difference between the groups, but there was a rather strong trend in favor of 33, but again, not statistically different. Recently, this paper came out, children in hospital cardiac arrest, same group of trialists. And as you can see from this Kaplan-Meier curve, absolutely no difference between the groups. As in the out-of-hospital cardiac arrest cohort, children were treated at 33 versus control temperature 36.8. This study was stopped due to futility. Thank you. So again, the adult trial, the TTM trial that we conducted, that we presented in 2013, we did not see any difference between the two arms, 33 and 36, control temperature in both arms, and there was actually no signals in favor of any of the two interventions. So this translated pretty much into guidelines in 2015, where it stated that TTM is recommended for adults after out-of-hospital cardiac arrest with an initial shockable rhythm who remain unresponsive after ROS. Strong recommendation, but a low quality of evidence. And this was actually exactly what we concluded ourselves in our systematic review from 2010. And that was the basis for the TTM trial, that we did have clinical equipoise. So there is a dilemma with the 2015 guidelines, because what we have is very low or low level of evidence supporting the use of induced hypothermia post-cardiac arrest. and we have moderate level of evidence based on the TTM trial that it does not really matter what temperature to target in the 32 to 36 range. This is what we have. And this is somewhat confusing conclusion is actually reflected in clinical practice, but because what we see today is that we see different ways of approaching post-cardiac rest TTM. There are those using the signals from the 2002 trials, and they conclude thus that the 33-degree level is better. There are many sites that have moved to 36 due to the signals that were seen in the TTM trial. But then there are the agnostic friends, the indifferent ones, or just the confused ones, who say it doesn't really matter, we don't do it. And that's, I think, not a correct conclusion of any of these studies. So we do definitely have clinical equipoise, and we need to do at least one more trial. And our suggestion is that we do the TTM2 trial, the targeted hypothermia versus targeted normothermia after out-of-hospital cardiac arrest trial. And the hypothesis in the TTM2 trial is that post-ischemic hypothermia, when compared to normothermia and early treatment of fever, decreases 180-day mortality and improves neurologic function in unconscious adults admitted to hospital after out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. These are the inclusion criteria, again, very similar to those in the TTM1 trial. Adult patients, comatose, sustained ROSC, all rhythms. Actually, we have one exclusion criteria here, that is unwitnessed arrest with initial rhythm asystole. Patients who we know do not survive anyway. And these are the other exclusion criteria that you can see here. This is the flow in the two intervention arms, where we randomize to either 32 to 33 degrees in the hypothermia arm, and we allow a temperature up to 37.8 in the control arm. 37.8 will trigger that it's mandatory to activate a device, and that device will be put on 37.5. So these are the two arms. Rapid cooling in the 33 arm. We have shortened the inclusion window from 240 to 180 minutes, and we promote rapid cooling in the 33 arm. And we want to compare this with the normothermia arm, where you avoid fever. And the primary and second outcome measures can be seen at the bottom of this slide. Some study procedures for both groups. We control sedation. We measure temperature through the bladder probe. A physical cooling device is mandatory. We do have a shivering management in this trial that we did not have in the TTM1 trial. We do have the same very strict rules for neurological prognostication in the TTM2 trial as well, very similar to those that we had in the TTM1 trial. And also very conservative rules for withdrawal of life-sustaining therapy. The intervention period is thus 40 hours. There is a rewarming period of 12 hours, 0.33 degrees per hour in the 33 arm. After the intervention period of 40 hours, sedation can be weaned and the patient is allowed to wake up. So here you see the separation as we wanted. We want to have a better separation between the groups as compared to the TTM1 trial, with rapid cooling in the hypothermia arm, and in the normothermia avoiding fever arm, where we allow a temperature up to 37.8, then thus triggers the device to be set at 37.5. This is the design. Primary outcome is 180-day mortality. Secondary outcome is the extended Glasgow outcome score at day 180. It's an eighth graded scale, and survival time to day 180. The power calculation is like this, with a power of 90%, alpha 0.05, and relative risk we assume a relative risk reduction of 15%, which translates into an absolute risk reduction of 8.5%, which is actually half the effect size from the HACA trial. With this calculation, we aim for 1,900 patients in the TTM2 trial. So we need help from you guys, and you can find more information on our homepage that is now open with this address. On this homepage you will find more information. The protocol is there, or should be there tomorrow, version 1.0, and you will also find information about national investigators in Europe, Australia, North America. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to contact me personally or the group in Lund at this email address. What I have not said, but what is important for you to know, and that the information is on the homepage, is that there is a very good chance that we will have a co-enrollment with another large randomized controlled trial, the TAME trial, the trial from Melbourne, Australia, ASIC collaboration. We met with Rinaldo Bellomo yesterday, and that's a trial that will randomize to hypercapnia versus normocapnia. And we plan to have co-enrollment in these two trials, or at least that this is an option. So I find that very intriguing and very interesting as well. So I welcome you all to contact one of us, any of us, or visit the homepage. Thank you very much. And before I finish, I just want to make some marketing of this event in Lund in September. It's a meeting on neuroprognostication on day 1, and a follow-up and rehabilitation of post-cardiac arrest survivors on day 2. Thank you very much.